So, first thing we need to do is ascertain a quorum, and I have no idea how many people is a quorum. Who knows? 50. Oh, we're good. Okay, we got 15. So at this time, I'm going to call the meeting to order. What is it? It's wow, it's right at 6:30. Okay. Next item is reviewing and approval of the 2021 minutes. Does it have to go down?
This is where we do the duet, Karen, remember?
Yeah, okay. You start. I'll count you in.
Okay. No, I did forget something, believe it or not. I know you can't think that I would do that, but I did. We are supposed to start with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
It's not on here.
I know. I know it's not on there.
Okay.
And my bad, I forgot. So if you all please stand. And I'll lead us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can be seated. And thank you.
I did notice it was missing, but I thought, well, maybe we're not doing it anymore. I don't know. Okay, so the next item, I would love to have a motion and a second to forego the reading of last year's minutes and approve them. Thank you. And a second. All right, perfect. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Any objection to approving last year's minutes? Yay. Okay, done. All right, so this section is the really fun section where you get to listen to me talk. You're going to have 3 reports tonight, one from the board chair, that's me, and then one from the CEO, Ed Gravely, and then finally we'll get to listen to Matt Reister, who's the chair of the supervisory committee, right there. In a minute, I'm going to introduce the awesome volunteers on the board, but really what I want to do tonight is thank the staff. We really have an awesome staff and management at the credit union, and without them and their hard work, what we do as a community credit union just wouldn't be possible. And of course, they're paid and they get benefits provided by the credit union, but you know what? They could go somewhere else and get paid and get benefits, maybe get better pay, get more flexible schedules. This is a really tight employment environment right now. There are other companies out there looking for really good staff folks, and we have them and we want to keep them. I think that the credit union has positioned itself really well to keep the very best workers in the Valley. So thank you to the management and staff at the credit union for giving of yourselves to further the financial health of our community. We really appreciate it and want to recognize you. So 2022 is our 74th year of service, believe it or not, to the Valley. The credit union was started in 1948, right? 1948, about 100 members, hundreds of dollars. Now in 2022, we have over 55,000 members and more than $750 million in assets. That's amazing. That's right. Our strong core values are the foundation of all the decision making here at the credit union. We're financially healthy, and this allows us to serve our community even through the effects of a seemingly endless pandemic. So at this time, I'm going to introduce our volunteer board members. Our vice chair is Joe Hawkins. Amy Roberts is a secretary-treasurer. Our other members are Crystal Stanley and Cecilia Bradford. And 2 folks who aren't here tonight. I didn't see Dave Combs, right? Okay, David Combs is also on the board, and Dale Fosselman, who's on vacation. We also have emeritus board members. I'm not sure if any of those are here tonight. Helen Munoz. Okay, thank you. Christina Kohlberg. And Don Schiesel. Anyway, they're awesome too, so let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. So thank you everybody for coming and participating in our very first live annual meeting since 2019. It's awesome to be together. So now I'm going to have Ed come up.
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome you all to the first meeting we've had live since COVID, which is nice to be back in person. I hope you all like being back here. I would like to echo Karen too, as I want to thank the volunteers, the supervisory committee. They put lots of hours in. It's not a paid position. They do it out of a passion to help our communities to ensure that we provide good financial services that it helps the well-being of our members. And so I want to thank them. Let's give them another round of applause for that. I would like to kind of introduce my executive team. You really can't accomplish what we need to accomplish without a team to make this happen. If you could stand up when I introduce you and just keep standing. Tier Burrs, our Chief Financial Officer. Bill Koo, our Chief Operations Officer. Linda Moneymaker, our Chief Member Experience Officer. Ken Darling, our Chief Credit Officer. Guys, keep standing. Angela Hobby, who's our Chief Human Resource Officer. For some reason, she wanted to take a vacation after COVID. I don't understand that, but she did. I additionally would like to have all the other staff members stand too. Every one of these people put in above and beyond the efforts to do that. And so I appreciate every one of them to doing that. So, and Karen's right. There's a lot of things they can do in life, but they've decided to help each other out, help our members out, and it makes a difference every day in people's lives. So thanks, guys. Okay. 2021 was a great year for the credit union in spite of COVID. COVID did keep throwing all kinds of twists and turns to us, and it looks like it's going to continue to do that for a period of time, but we've been very resilient moving forward. One of the things I want to make sure you're all aware of, it's exciting news that NCOA has approved our charter expansion, so we can virtually help everyone in the state of Alaska. We've been diligently spreading out, doing more of that, particularly through our online services. And so you'll see more of that as we go forward there. We do a lot of comparisons, and we continue to be one of the lowest service providers from a fee standpoint in Alaska and in Hawaii. And that's a big thing. We're trying to ensure that we have very economical services for the members. And we are proud of that. It's one of our strategies is to keep that fee structure very low there. It was additionally a really good year for us. We had loan growth of $58 million of growth, and that's a big increase. So we have a total of $365 million of loans at the end of the year, which is phenomenal. I remember when we broke $100 million, and it was a big event. I know that our teams are still continuing to work hard, and our consumer lending group, I think it was 2 weeks ago, they did over $3 million in 1 week, which was monumental for us to do that. Rest assured, the members are confident in us. We had $105 million in net deposit growth in 2021. So that brought us up to $691 million in just deposits. As Karen said, our asset base is $770 million. And so if you just think in 3 years, we went from just under $500 million to $770 million. So it's been a really good time of us helping members and being a secure environment for people to get their financial services. One of the things I would like to do, we had some special programs that came up that we were able to take advantage of during COVID. And one of them was the SBA program, which was the Payment Protection Program. We did a program in 19, and we did one in 20, and we did one in 21. In 21, we were able to help 193 small businesses with the Payment Protection Program, and that was right at $7,997,000 with the Payment Protection Program. Okay. Let's see. As you can tell, it was a banner year. We had a lot of growth both in Alaska and Hawaii. Hawaii is doing really well. I had an opportunity to visit the staff there. It's definitely, we're doing a meaningful thing to help those members there too. We have about $50-some million in loans over there that we've helped those people out with, which is a real monumental accomplishment there. We really look for 2022 to be another great year. Everything the indicators are, it's going to be a real good year. But as we know, the economy is going to have a lot of twists and turns, and much like I think a little bit poetic that we're giving out umbrellas, we're here for when you have a rainy day. And so we're going to help you on that rainy day, so we're excited about that. I'm between you and the door prizes, and that's not a good, envious spot to be. It's kind of like a speaker between you and cocktail hour. You want to get out of the way quick. So I am going to kind of cut it short, but I really would like to thank the member experience team that took the time to put together this event. They were here early, set it all up. They're filming it. They're doing an excellent job, so I want to thank them personally for doing that. Okay. If anybody has any questions on the credit union, just get me on the side, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. I'm going to get out of the way so Brian can get to the bucket of bucks. Everybody wants that, so I'm going to get out of the way. Okay, thank you.
All right, Matt Reister, I think you're up. He's the chair of the supervisory committee.
Thank you, Karen. Likewise, it's good to be back in person, and we've missed out on a lot of things, and being together, and as part of the co-op principles and joining together, it's important. And these annual meetings we do the same thing for the co-op I work for, and it's just a good feeling to actually have people back in the room together. So my report's brief as well. We, as the supervisory committee, we have 5 positions. We started the year with 5. We had, and just I'll introduce and thank Diana Long, who's resigned and retired from the committee. She served for decades, literally, and Danilyn Dalrymple has resigned, and I really appreciate her service as well. So we're working on filling 2 vacancies. The rest of the committee, the 3 of us, myself, and then David Taylor, has been with the credit union for decades. And then Rick Antonio, who I don't think Rick is here tonight. And I want to thank both of them for their ongoing service. So, and then we actually have a new candidate that that's just expressed some interest. So I think we'll be back to 4 pretty quick, and soon be back to 5. But our role is specified in the federal regulations. We exist and function independently of the board. We have an oversight role. In another organization, you might think of us as the audit committee, and we also oversee the election process, for one thing. And then the other minor role for us is certain member complaints, certainly if they arise and move to the NCOA, then we get involved in that as well, in ensuring that those get resolved appropriately. Fortunately, that doesn't happen much at all. But again, a primary responsibility is the audit function. We engage the external auditors, Moss Adams. Those folks reviewed and gave us an opinion on these financial statements that are included in your annual report in a summarized form. Good, clean audit. Moss is doing a great job for us. They have a specialized financial services practice section that we're really happy with, and management's getting good support from as well. They give us more than just an audit. They also do some compliance audits for us. I won't go through everything. You can see my report in detail in the annual report packet. So they do some compliance audits and oversight audits for us. The committee also oversees the internal audit function. The credit union also has its own internal auditor. And through the external audits, the internal audits, we keep a close eye to ensure that the records are being maintained properly, and policies and procedures are being followed, and those do change. And so the credit union's constantly having to adapt and to stay ahead of that game. And the bottom line is just ensuring that the members' assets are safeguarded and are kept secure, and And as you've heard from Karen and Ed, that things are going well. The last piece of what we get involved in is the National Credit Union Administration comes out and does periodic exams, like roughly every year or two, about every 18 months, seems like lately. And their last opinion came in on the December 31, 2020 year end, and the credit union continued to maintain its strong rating that they provide. So from the audit and oversight perspective, things are going well, and there's been a ton of growth, and the credit unions had to move through this low interest rate environment. Now they're swinging, into an increasing interest rate environment. So we appreciate, like Karen said, we appreciate management's really good efforts in staying on top of those things. So I think that's it. Thank you very much. Take any questions. Oh, yeah. And it is a separate agenda item, so I don't know if we're actually I'm going to come back up. But as we oversee the elections, this year we didn't have a contested election to oversee. The incumbents were willing to continue serving, and so the incumbent board is your board for the coming year. So we appreciate all their efforts as well. Yeah, that's it. All right, thanks, Karen. Yep.
Okay, next is new or unfinished business. I'm not aware of any unfinished business. Does anybody have any new business to bring up? Awesome. Okay, I think at this time Ed's going to come up for a special recognition.
Yeah, would like to acknowledge some employees that have been here for quite some time, really contributed a lot to the organization. And we're kind of rare when you start talking to other institutions. They don't have employees that have been 10, 15 years. We have some people that are approaching 30 years. So we're kind of rare that we have people that make this their main career. And so I want to acknowledge some of the people that are coming on some monumental years in 2021. At 15 years, we have Coral Knight, Jasmine Stevens, Stephanie Lynn Paris, who's from our Hawaii staff, Norm Rinsbacher, and Amy Hobart. Are any of those guys here? Yep. Okay. For 20 years, which that's a long time to be in any one place. So I really commend them for that. We have Ivory. Is Ivory here? Oh, stand up, Ivory. Thank you, Ivory. Is Teresa Linkhart here? That's rare. Teresa usually here. She probably thinks we're virtual and she's trying to find us on the web. Frances Kajimat, who is our community office manager in Hawaii, and she has been with the credit union for 20 years. She stayed on when we merged them in 2012. So that's monumental. Mandy Tanner, which kind of grew up with the credit union movement. Mandy, if you could stand up. Okay. I additionally would want to echo Matt. Diane Long was on the supervisory committee for many, many years. I actually think she might have been on when we had a credit committee before that. I think she was. And so she really has been a monumental volunteer. We appreciate it very much. Diane Dalrymple was definitely a big asset too. And both of them, it was just, they had some personal reasons. It was time to do something else. And so if you see them, please thank them for all their time. And there. So thank you.
Okay, unless there's any objection, I think we're going to adjourn the business meeting and get to the money. All right.